Well. Everybody came in very quickly, so I'll go ahead and jump on. Dano, thank you for stopping by. Good to see you, sir. Hope everything is well in the land of the North. Did you ever get moved? I know the last time we talked recently, I think you were still talking about you were in transition, if I remember right. Did you ever get finally moved completely? And Mr. Bill Beckett, good to see you. And Renegade's Garage is here, who has been consistently doing what no other YouTuber seems to be doing, and that's pumping out videos. So if you're bored and you have content that you acquire, I would go over there for some of that because nobody's really been putting out a lot of videos from what I've seen. Maybe CP, probably about the best case scenario as far as good content coming out here recently. So it's been a couple of weeks. I got caught up last week on a surprise visit I had to run for work, and now that I'm looking at the calendar, I should be able to make next week. I should be able to make it. Currently, I'm traveling on the 12th, which is a Tuesday. I should be back that Wednesday night, so we're good for next week as well. Oh, so yeah, I left the lights and everything pretty normal this week. The dim and the lights, like it's a lot of effort. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. And I like this better because the spotlight that I use, without it, this is the picture without it. So it's a little darker, you know. I think, it's nice to have it, but man, it's bright and it's like right here. It's not like one of these soft boxes. It's basically just a desk lamp with some wax paper over it to kind of soften it. But when all the other lights are off, it's like a damn movie studio or something. Like someone's got a camera right in your face with a light. Not my favorite thing in the world. So, an interesting update. Uh, I got a cup here, and it's actually filled with water. So, part of this is since starting the work at home thing months ago, I've been gradually working out, more and more. I don't want this work at home thing to get me, right? And I was already peaking on close to 200 pounds. So I've been working out, and something it's amazing. Like, I mean, I don't really drink a lot. I drink often, but not a lot. So that's in itself not really a problem. But I will tell you one thing: drinking, right? It seems like even in moderate amounts, frequently, and like waking up and working out are not conducive. Who would have thought to being in cohesion with one another? So uh, I've been cutting back. I had some beer earlier this week. What was it, like Monday? But for the most part, I'm just kind of taking it easy, and I'm working out pretty much every day. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of bike, some free weights, nothing nuts. But I've already dropped between that and some other things I'm doing. I've already dropped. I'm down under 180, so at least like 15 pounds or something. So I'm feeling good. So yeah. So, and also because I'm a lightweight, I remember crying on stream one time about uh, starving children or something, and Mark loved it. Mark C loved it, and I deleted it the next day, and he was so angry, or maybe it was even that night. He was so angry that I deleted it. He really enjoyed that. But anyhow, so I have not gotten anything done that I want to do. The job it allows me a lot of freedom, but it's like bits. I can walk away and go out to lunch for a work day if I choose to do that. But It's a little rough. I got time in the evenings, but most of that goes to my daughter and adult responsibilities and things. So I'm working on it. I am working on it. I gotta send some emails. I'm trying to get a hold of the people over at Century Trading Company to see what they're doing with their SK tools because of everyone around here. That's the only bastion of SK tool dealership that I know of. So I want to try to reach out to them and see if I can find out if they're still going to carry it or what their plans are going forward. Excuse me. So we'll see what I can find out there, but I know that sounds simple, but my work computer is over there and it's hard. It sounds crazy, but it's hard to get from over there to over here for any like real length of time. And then I always get drawn back there very quickly. So I will try to shoot off that email though this week. I'm not expecting a whole lot of response from them. Uh, I might not get any at all. They may not even know their own plans. I mean, there's not a whole lot of information out there. We do know that supposedly the last update I'm receiving, like you guys, from the internet, when it's actually up and working, is that they plan on keeping the factory in the United States operating, which, you know, for a Chinese tool company to come in and buy an American made tool company but still wish to continue to make American made tools, it's concerning because you got to wonder what's going to happen with the quality. The mold's the same, maybe let's hope that the metal's the same, but how's that going to go? And I mean, I think a lot of us can say the quality, a lot of that quality comes from not only a good company culture, but the people behind it. So it's not a dig at anybody specifically, but one of the things that always seems to get me, like for instance, there's a Japanese restaurant. Here's your perfect example. There's a Japanese restaurant in my town. I love it. I go there often. I take the kids. They love it. It's always a treat. I actually went there for lunch today. So, let's see who this is real quick. It's Mark, wondering if I'm streaming. Yeah, that's always funny. So anyhow, so this Japanese restaurant, buddy of mine put me onto it a few years ago, and I know that's Mark. I know it is. Why you got to? Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, so it was great food. It really is. Um, and so I became very fond of it. Well, probably a year or two after I started going there frequently, because it's hard to find good like Oriental food anywhere. Um, I guess the owner was aging or something for whatever reason. The family decided to sell it. Now, here's the important point. The food was great, right? Uh, and I don't know who was in the kitchen at that time. Gee, bus Christ. So I don't know who was in the kitchen at that time, but all the wait staff were, and this is again not a dig or anything. It's an observation. They were all American. Um, yeah, all American for the 2 or 3 years that this was. They were under the previous management. So they decided to sell, and for whatever reason, maybe I think the guy owns other restaurants, and like his son wanted one, so he bought it. I don't know some story like that is what I heard. But the guy's Chinese. Don't care. Okay, cool, whatever. What happened soon after the transition, and I mean all the way down to like the sushi chefs that were doing all the sushi in the center of the restaurant. Um, Everybody got changed out. All the wait staff, everybody. just either quit or got fired or asked to leave. I don't know. But they're all gone, and they all got replaced with Chinese people. Now, that being said, I still find the service to be good. I don't have any like major qualms. There was some kind of noticeable difference in food quality, and I don't know if it's gotten like slightly better because I've gotten used to it over the last couple of years or what happened there. But it's just it's not quite the same as it was before under the new ownership. And in this case, that's Chinese American, based ownership, but they tend to have a different business model. Hi, Derek. Hi, Frank. Hi, Mark. Thank you for all of your lovely messages. Uh, but the Chinese have a different kind of idea about how businesses should be run, about how companies should be run, and they are always looking at, pension pennies, costs. I mean, everybody kind of is, but they take it to another level. And so if they can save 5 cents on an item, they're probably going to try to do that if they feel they can. And, you never know at the end of it. Like I said, I still eat there a lot and I still like it, but I remember there was a period right after that transition where I didn't really go there that often because I kept getting, like, I noticed the difference in the quality of food. So, again, I'm not sure if I got used to it or if it, brought itself back up to a certain level. Um, but it's just not quite the same. And I have to remind my daughter every time we go in there because she'll, say like hi and stuff in Japanese, and I have to remind her that they're Chinese, and you got to use, you want to say hi, you got to use the Chinese greeting. So it's just weird, but that's my point of saying that the Chinese don't run companies the way we would in any sense of the form. So, fried cat and sweet sour. I don't like to think about that. That's why I stay mostly with the seafood. Um, yeah, I don't really veer from that too much. I did get like a steak dish once. It was kind of, I don't know, like a cutlet, and then they slice it. It looked like steak. That's as far as I know it. It was pretty good. So if it was some cat, it was some really good cat. Uh, but they just don't run companies the same way we do. Another prominent example here from my area, and this isn't quite the same, but you'll get it here in a minute. It's this company. You may have seen the Netflix special. There was a whole Netflix special about it. I forget what it was called. It was called like American Factory or something like that. It was about this Chinese company called Fuyao. They manufacture glass for automobiles and things. And they came and bought an old GM assembly plant not far from me, south of me, and started up there and was running it. And it was this whole big thing. Well, like instantly you had this division. You had all this Chinese ownership, a few American figureheads, but predominantly everything was run by the Chinese. They had their own like groups of management that would communicate to their American counterparts who would then go deal with the people on the floor. And it was basically like this intermediary because they wanted most of the American workers to deal with American supervisors. So they did this thing and it was horrible. The whole Netflix special goes into all the problems they had between company culture and this and that. The workers were, old GM workers in a lot of cases, so they were wanting to unionize. It was like this whole big thing. And still to this day, I actually interviewed for them not too long ago. Even after my job at Amazon, some headhunter called me and, was trying to talk me into it. And I mean, I did the interview, but I couldn't get through the questions because I was asking, stuff regarding that. Like, is there, okay, I'd be on maintenance. Is there a Chinese counterpart to the maintenance group that I report to, or like what goes on there, because a few people that I know had worked there in the maintenance department and said that, like, basically you'll go to a service call, work on it for like 5-10 minutes, and then the Chinese would come in, their maintenance guys, and they would take over the whole thing, and like us, have to adhere to OSHA standards and safety regulations, lockout, tagout, electrical safety, all these things. The Chinese guys gave no qualms about doing whatever they thought it needed done to get that machine up and running. So it was a big difference. And they're still having problems. I know they are. They're still hiring. I hear the radio ads. I mean, right now everybody's hiring. But that just goes into like the company culture. So even if they come and they take over the American factory, it's going to be a weird thing to see how that goes. And you're not going to see the effects of it for a while, because I imagine to some degree they have a stock built up of the stuff that's, currently and being made by the American workers under the previous management. So, yeah, it's going to be a real strange thing to see how this whole thing plays out and where SK will actually be in another like 4 or 5 years. But I mean, in some ways, I'm kind of concerned. Do I still like SK tools? I mean, as long as they don't change a whole bunch of stuff or try to really divert from what they've been doing, I think most people will still, in some form, respect them. But the quality, the warranty, these issues, Chinese companies are not known for warranties. Like, they're just not. There's only a handful of good foreign tool companies that actually have good warranties. Most of those being German, a few of the higher end brands in Japan. China is not known for warranty. I don't even know if they have a word for it. So, and that's also part of the cost savings. So, it's going to be a real strange thing. I'll see what I can find out from Century Trading Company, but I wouldn't expect much. They may not even give me any real information that's, they don't maybe want to make public yet. I'm just not sure. I'm sure they have some kind of contract to be a distributor for at minimum some period of time before they renegotiate or reconsider. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Wera, WEA, what is it, Koken, Knee Pros. We have, everybody here in the States. We have Williams, we have Wright. Who else do we have? Williams, Wright, SK, of course. Craftsman, I mean, yeah, you can kind of say they have a lifetime warranty. Snap-on, supposedly. What'd Bill say? He sounds smarter with the volume off. Who said I wasn't smart? Oh, Mark, I'm not drinking. You missed that part. You were late to the stream. I'm cutting down on my alcohol because I've been working out, and it's going well, which is great, but it's hard to drink even a couple beers at my age and then try to get up at 5 in the morning and start working out before I have my coffee. It's just these two don't see eye to eye. So I've been cutting out the alcohol, not like crazy, but a lot. Like, considering, I'd usually have a beer or something at the end of every night. So that's where we're at with that. I mean, I'll continue to monitor the airwaves. You guys continue to let me know what you find out. But who knows what's going to happen with it. But I will say, conveniently, Renegade decided to get rid of his banner. It ended up on my wall eventually. It took me forever, but I got it up. And as soon as I get it up, the company gets sold. It's honestly, it's a bunch of crap. So, Chinese symbol for warranty. Oh, it's a trash can. Oh, yeah, and that's true. And you got to think about the cost savings there for them. Imagine just wiping out the warranty. Now, theoretically, hold on. Theoretically, the prices would drop, you would think, significantly. if there was no warranty behind it. So I know we've been hem-hawed over this topic for the last month or month and a half since it happened, but I will get out that email and see if I can find out anything. But I wouldn't hold your breath. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of information coming out about it. I messaged Great Star. They ignored me. I got them on Instagram. They ignored me. Uh, I actually signed up for the last 2 years of their little tool trade show that they do in China, and I was on, yeah, like I was on that, and I couldn't get any answers from the officials there, like nothing. Like, hey, are you guys gonna, bring SK over since you own it now and it'd be a part of the trade show? Crickets. So, yeah, we're not getting a lot of information. So hopefully they attempt to do it right, but I fear it's not gonna be the same. And the sad thing is, the stuff that we have, I have a decent amount of SK stuff. I know a lot of other people out there. Some people swear by it, but the warranty might all be but dead, on all the old stuff. Nothing wrong with not drinking. No, no, there's nothing wrong with it. I like drinking. I do. But it's just trying to get in a good physical shape and wake up early and do all this stuff. I'm doing more water at the current point in time. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I prefer it. I wouldn't care if anybody did say anything about it, because you don't have to deal with me at 4 or 5 in the morning when I get up. So, but I do. I feel better physically. I guess it kind of helps with your mood a little bit. You're being a little more physically active. You're not hopefully as tired as the day goes through. So it is good. It's all for the good. Betterment's always a thing. So anyhow, without too much delay, we're only going to be on here for about another hour. I'm going to hop over to the Reddit over here on our tools, and we're going to scroll around, and I'm going to attempt to keep up on the chat a little bit. I remember streams like 3 and 4 years ago when I started YouTube, and people can talk trash about me or my streams or whatever. I'm sure somebody does somewhere. But back then, people would literally just like read the chat comment for sometimes hours on end, which is not necessarily bad, I guess, if you got good stuff going on there. But other than that, there was almost no content to the stream, just basically reading the chat and having the conversations that naturally came up. So I think I'm doing all right, considering I'm a YouTuber that doesn't make videos. When you wake up in the AM, drink a glass of water, but I need coffee. I'm not even drinking, but I still can't get rid of the coffee. And maybe I'll see what I can do about lowering that curve later. But I will say I usually make the coffee first, and I'll sip it. I don't drink the whole cup, but I take some sips and set it down, and then I start getting to my actual workout. But yeah, let me see. I'll get a small glass, like one of the kid-sized glasses. Maybe I'll start trying to do that. That's a thing, Bill. If your stomach is empty and you drink water, sometimes it'll get me if, I'm drinking something, almost anything, but water for sure, and my stomach's empty, I feel it sloshing around. It's a horrible feeling. I can only put it towards what women must feel, I guess, when they're pregnant, like things just moving around in your stomach that you don't want to. I mean, that's obviously slightly different, but I'm saying that sensation, that feeling of stuff sloshing around, it's kind of unnerving. And yeah, I can see how it'll make you sick. Yeah, I don't know how much water I'm drinking. I'm sure I could still drink more. But I'm drinking some mineral waters and just regular water. If I go out to a restaurant here lately, I'll order water there. So yeah, it's really cutting out the little things. I switched to a a 50-50 sugar mix with like sugar and like 0 calorie sweetener because I can't fully convert that either without dying inside. So I mix that like half and half. Like I'm making a lot of little changes, and it's working out well. No, I'm not going to turn into a fitness channel, but I figure you guys should know why I got a glass of water, not beer. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. Wednesday will be my beer night. I'll grab something like a single nice bottle of something, and maybe I'll have that. So anyway, we're going over to our tools, and we're going to see what people are doing over here today. First post, homemade tool day, so HTD, portable adjustable power supply with an M12 battery. That's not hateful. I mean, if you just need some juice, I kind of like it. And it looks like, dare I say it, this dude actually made it. Like, he's not BSing. He got some boards. It looks like he soldered some stuff together. He made this. That's pretty damn sweet. Hat goes off to him. I don't know what his need is, but I mean, if you're trying to test something, you need some juice, this will do it. I wonder how adjustable it is and why. I kind of wonder why he felt the need and if there was something better, but maybe he wanted a project. That's pretty cool. What happened? What Renegades? He's saying he's pregnant. No, I wish, man. I'd take that whole pregnancy off of work. I never got a break from Corona. Maybe I'll get one on the next round. I don't know. No, that's pretty damn cool. Yeah, I mean, I thought so. I could do something like that, but I'd have to put so much research into it, like, sourcing boards and components and things. On the electronics, I had a buddy who was real good at that. Like, way back in probably like the early 2000s, he made like a motion sensor for his kid. Like, so he could put his kid to bed, and if the kid was like up and walking around the room and doing stuff, like he didn't want video or any of that, like a lot of that still wasn't as good as it is now. He just wanted something simple. So he made this motion sensor, wired it up to a little thing and a light, right? And the light came through the outside of the door, and that was like a living area thing, and it was a pretty bright kind of little strobe, and it would start flashing if his kid was in the room like moving and he programmed in some kind of delay, for like a specified amount of time, like if it detected movement for like 20 or 30 seconds, it would tell him if he's stirring or if he was actively up, like walking around the room, even in the pitch black, which was, really cool for the time. But he was really good with electronics, and I saw the stuff he had to go through to do. Nah, I mean, I can solder, I can do some things, but am I going to make my own power supply? Certainly not. But no, I do like people like Junk from work. He's good with his electronics, and now he's been getting into the 3D printing. So that's all going to be great stuff to have those skills. But I limit mine. Wrenches, electronics I'm good with in general, but not that level of electronics. I can follow somebody where they're talking about we need a resistor, here's the capacitor, and I know why they have what they have in there, but do I know how to like plan it out, build it? Nah. I mean, I could, but it'd take forever and a day. Someone left this thing attached at the job site. What is this tool and what is it for? It's a safety harness hook. I mean, I don't see the rest of... Oh, yeah. I totally admit they got me. They got me, guys. I got. If you see here, the OSHA violation laying on the floor. That's funny. I thought maybe it was like a line for a tool holder or something like that. Sometimes they'll strap a cable across if they're doing a lot of work somewhere, so they're not dropping tools. But they obviously staged this. That's great. That's actually really good. I couldn't see enough of his high vis. That's why I didn't catch it right away. Oh, that's great. I might have to come back here and steal that for Facebook. That's awesome. So here's a Ewing uh, non-marring hammer, or Eastwing. Yeah, Eastwing. My bad. My eyes suck. I've seen these before. I've used them in different places. One of my old companies swore by them so that they'd give them to operators so they could beat on the machines without hurting them. Yeah, it don't work. It don't work because as soon as the faces fall off, it's got a metal head and they're just still beating on stuff. Yeah, they don't work. They're very limited, and if the face gets destroyed, you have to replace it. Um, they're not bad for what they're intended for, but in the wrong hands, they will break your machines with them. And then, of course, uh, the beautiful, beautiful flat jaw, adjustable channel lock, water pump, groove joint, pliers that we all know and love, right? So here is some tool aficionado that took the time to refurbish a 1984 Global Industrial Drill Press. Now, that I want to say does not look like paint. It looks like he actually went through the trouble of having this thing powder coated. I mean, it's gonna be hard to tell in photos. Zoom in. That definitely looks like powder coat. But I wonder if it actually. Well, I guess the other one, the motor was done too. I don't know how. I guess if you take the housing off, you could do that. But yeah, it looks like if you look at it, he put new wires on it, cleaned some things up here in this junction. I would have liked to see a cap on that, but I'm sure there's a reasoning for it. But yeah, he did a really good job on this. Thing looks brand new. I'd be proud to have that. That dude did a lot of good work there. So, yeah. See, more people need to do that. The new stuff just doesn't work as good as the old stuff. If you can keep the old stuff running, that's what you need to do. Amos Cardoza is in the house now. Welcome, sir. It's good to see you. Hope you're alive and well, obviously. You're on here. Everything must be at least decent. What is this and what is it used for? Isn't that like supposed to be some kind of rudimentary like sewing tool if you're in the wilderness? I want to say like yeah, it's to like I don't know. That's what I think when I see that is that you're going to use it to try to stitch something together, but that's a pretty big needle. Um, Professor X, Bill Beckett and cronies. Professor X, yeah, Zaphael. I was wondering when did we start calling him Professor X? I'm obviously out of the loop. Either that or he's just getting cooler nicknames than me. What is this? Is that Crescent? What's it say? Tecton. I mean, I don't hate on Tecton. I mean, they're all right, but I got to get a sale on some Tecton. I can't. The prices they want. Sometimes, one of my local grocery stores, Myers, some point, it's been a couple of years, I guess, took Tecton and moved it into their tool. And I get it. It's a grocery store. It's like a wannabe Walmart kind of thing, whatever. But they want an arm and a leg for the tools there. I mean, just borderline ridiculous prices. But I guess if, you're at a grocery store, it's got a pretty good tool department. I mean, Walmart's has a bigger selection, but their tools are not as high a quality. So I guess you can be all right with going to Myers and paying a little extra for a wrench set or something if you need it there, because it is Tecton. You're not going to get necessarily laughed at. I will say this: there's a lot of people over on Facebook in the Heart. I forget what it's called. It's like Heart Tool Guys something Facebook group. But it's it's a fan page for Heart Tools that Heart themselves did not start, from what I can tell. And there's a lot of people jumping in there. And here's a hot tip for you from what I've been seeing over there. It looks like, remember I said there was a lot of Heart Tool stuff going on sale, clearance specifically, and I had picked up some stuff, multi tools and some screwdrivers and some other things. I picked up some stuff because the prices you just couldn't really beat them. Plus, I do like the Heart stuff. But here's the interesting part: some of the guys on there, and I don't know how they got the inside track, but some of the guys on there are getting sent Heart tools, and I know I saw Hammer and some other stuff, but they're coming in like really nice black packaging, and they're all black tools. So I don't know if this is an indication that like they've said the white doesn't seem to be doing that well, and they're going to go to a black tool, but they might. It kind of looks that way, like tape measures and all kinds of other stuff. Like they're coming in these like limited. Let me see if I can get over there. I don't have anything on my Facebook you guys care to see, but Heart Tool guys, here it is. No, don't show me and Mark making kissy faces at each other. Don't show that in Messenger. Okay, so I want to see if I can scroll and find one of these posts. It's probably been a couple of days. So, come on, internet. You got to forgive me. Come the on. There. There's one. Now, I know that's a Hammer, but this is like an idea of what I've been seeing, and there it's probably going to be back even further. There's been a couple of guys posting these specialized tools that they're getting sent, and they're coming in cases. I don't know if, yeah, here's another one. Here's a Hammer. This guy got a completely black tape measure. Now, the Hammers we know, right? But here's the boxes they're coming in, and I don't know, Heart times the Fords, I don't know what that's about. But you see how they're limited edition? So I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, but it's something. I thought Heart was going to kind of die out because they were throwing everything on clearance, but now I'm starting to wonder if they're not going to like try to transition to a better aesthetic, something a little more serious than the white and blue and, you know, occasionally black on their tools. So that is going on. I don't know how they're getting them or where they're ordering them. This guy says his wife bought them. I don't even know if his wife can find those. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But yeah, so there's some weird stuff coming through the Heart pipeline. I don't have it in front of me. I put it in a box, but I was there not long ago, and with my daughter doing some shopping, and I found the Heart Tools rep in the aisle, like redoing the display, and I talked to her, and she gave me a bunch of free stuff: Heart hats, beer cozies, and shirts, a couple of shirts. So, I mean, ooh, what is going on here? A Damascus perfect fit style screwdriver I just made. These are fun one-day builds. If you know anything about Damascus steel, it's formed out of like layers of, you know, whatever metal you got. This dude, hold on. YouTube.com/thatworks. What do we have going on here? Not only is the picture awesome, but just the work. Look at the handle on that one. And these are like the old style. And if he's forging these out of Damascus steel, that's going to be, I mean, I don't know what base metal he's using, but that's going to be stronger than, oh, that's some sweet Hold on. I know. I'm going. Let's go. Let's go give this guy some love because I want to see what he's doing. What did it say? That works? I don't think there was a space there. So, yeah, this looks like him. Holy hell. He doesn't need my help. Oh, pause it. I think I got the audio off, but you probably hear it on this microphone. So, where's the screwdrivers? You SOB, where are they? I don't know how far back these could be. I would imagine the picture would look a lot like what we already saw. Fan builds, knives. Okay, so this dude's, not only does he know what he's doing, and his name's Matt. Look, Matt's Twitch. Hell yeah. All right, go Matt. He don't need my help. He's got 679,000 subscribers. But man, I'm trying to videos, sort by most popular. Screwdriver's got to be up on here, right? The most popular, I would think. Where's... Okay, you know what? Screw this. We're just going to... Can't be that many people making a Damascus screwdriver, right? Okay, so that's Alex Steele. That's not the same guy. Alex Steele, he's... Okay, that's not the same. Where is he? Where... Seriously, did he not make a video about it? I don't think he did. Well, that's upsetting. I mean... I don't think this is the same guy, but shut up. I want to see the metal. Okay, so you're forging, cool, you're shaping, okay. I'm guessing that's part of the temper. No, he's still forming. Shaping, okay. Okay. I mean, alright. I mean, the dude's legit. Even this kid, look at what he came up with here. So then basically you just got to slap a handle on there, whatever you decide. You call Brad's Workbench or somebody to do something with some nice wood and some epoxy, whatever have you. Are they selling these things, though? It looked like it was pretty balanced there. I mean, he doesn't have the handle on it, but it looked pretty balanced. Drilling the holes for the rivets. Okay, that's it. You're not going to slap a hand. Okay. But, yeah, so I can't find his video, but these things look amazing. And his was Damascus, but he didn't do it right. Because if you do it right, you're going to get these swirl patterns. I don't know what he did. Maybe he used too similar of metal in the layers. You're still going to get the strength, but you don't get the look. You get this from using slightly different types of metal, together, and then you get the swirls and the lines. But these are awesome. I would totally buy a set. I don't know about its utility as a screwdriver. How do you not know about its utility as a screwdriver? If you made these on hollow ground, you could make a fortune selling them to gunsmiths. Yeah, that's true. Some of these are really nice. Yeah, somebody cussed. How do I get one? Make one. You missed the opportunity to throw a $600 price tag on it and make bank here. I don't know. That's the original poster. How do you get one? Make one. I'm guessing that's him. That must be his Reddit account, I'm guessing. And that was 3 years ago. He commented on that. So yeah, this is probably way back in his repertoire. But yeah, how did that just end up here? Okay, so he's pack staining them. Oh, Paxtanium steel. Okay. Here he goes for another 2 months. Listen. Oh, some kind of gauge we don't care about. What the hell? Made a bad call choosing a hiding spot. Oh, I think they lost him. This must be like Florida. There's a lot of these like little lizards. Got yeah. He hid in the toolbox. Poor guy. He just wanted to fix stuff. Here he goes for another. I'm following you guys a little bit. Yeah, Pakistan makes a ton of demand. Yeah, um, it's usually used in more ornate things, knives and things. You don't see a lot of regular use with it, but it is nice where applicable. It definitely can make a difference in the visible quality of something. What else do we have on here? Bits. Is this guy making stainless steel spoons? Okay, that's a. Or ladles, more like, or like cooking spoons. That one, whatever that is old as sin. But it's. I find it interesting that they have the squared kind of bottom. Maybe that's for like scraping the bottom of the pot. You know, I don't know. But okay, some spoons. Old antique saw. Made by Kenyan. Not sure of much else. It's a nice looking saw. A little hand saw. What is it, like 9 inch roughly? Okay. A little tree saw or something. Carpenters. See, that's another thing. Like Brad does his thing. I know he does more turning and he plays with his uh, CNC that he has now a lot. But there's not a lot of like really good carpenters anymore that can like legit make you like a piece of furniture. And if they do, a lot of people can like throw something together, but to the level that we used to do things like with the ornate designs and the carvings and the odd shapes with the all the beveled edges and things, they just I don't see on a whole there being mostly people are buying cheap stuff now too, but there's not a whole lot of that left. I mean, when you go out and you buy like a really nice kitchen table now, something like that, it's expensive as all get out, but it used to for the most part kind of be the standard and you know the level of ornate or the quality of the finish would depend on how much you were paying for a certain piece and the quality of the wood if it had any defects, things like that. But they just don't. You don't see a lot of like real carpenters anymore that are you know building things for people. It's mostly like custom orders. There's the Amish and their furniture, but that's harder to find here in Ohio. I mean, it's still possible. But then wasn't there like a company that sold like little heaters and stuff like a while back? And I remember seeing like infomercials and stuff for them, and they like touted that the boxes or the shell or whatever the casing for the heater was made by Amish craftsmen, which I mean you would think was actually true. I'm assuming, but I've always kind of wondered about that if it was like Amish guys working in a factory making them, or if they were really like carving them out and cutting them and stuff by hand. So uh, those are probably some of the last, you know, really good craftsmen that kind of, you know, stick to their guns and don't really deviate much. If you get a piece of Amish made furniture, you're in for a treat. You can legitimately, without question, as long as barring any catastrophic events, you can hand that down to your kids or your kids' kids. Um, Bill, you're not in an Amish county as we speak. Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of nice out there. You gotta watch out for the wagons and stuff when they're driving. Be courteous, past them like you would not even like a cyclist. You give them a little more courtesy than a cyclist, because some of them cyclists are jerks, man. Uh, I have an idea about the cyclist. Like, what was it's probably about like somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago, where everyone started like, oh well, like cyclists, we're gonna give them a lane on the road. No, it's not like, okay. First of all, if you're riding a bike in the city or in like a populated area, you ain't supposed to be riding that like your life depends on it, right? If you need a workout, go get your workout somewhere else. A bike is supposed to be for transportation, right? So if you were riding a bike at a reasonable pace, there is absolutely no problem with you riding that on the sidewalk, right? You're supposed to get off of it and walk it across crosswalks and stuff because you will get hit. But other than that, that's fine. But it's these people that want to ride a bike at 25, 30 miles an hour consistently, looking like they're, who's that one guy, Lance Armstrong or something? And they're like, they're legitimately like in car lanes and making left turns. And I'm like, you don't belong here. Hell, scooters and motorcycles, they only get by because they have the horsepower required to do what needs to be done, right? And there's some personal responsibility there in riding a motorcycle. But like a scooter even, I'd be hard pressed. You can barely keep up with traffic on most of them things. So, nah, that's not safe. I'm sure as hell not going to take a bike into car land. I mean, I see too many accidents. You get blindsided by accident. I mean, it can happen at any time. I'd rather be on like a vehicle that's going to hopefully absorb most of that impact. Nah, yeah, but they just keep adding bike lanes. Ohio is. I want to say they have like the most bike paths or some accolade of that nature of any state or something. I swear, I saw a brochure. I was looking at the maps. This was years ago, and it's only gotten worse. So I can imagine we're probably still close to the top of that list, unless somebody else felt the need. Uh, but yeah, I don't mind the bike paths, like actual bike paths. Cool, yeah, pave a little thing, whatever. But they go onto the roads all the time, and it's I'm not looking for bicycles, when I'm driving. It's just so. I watch for motorcycles, but they're like a vehicle. They're bigger, they're shiny, they're loud. You see those. Bicycles, it's just a bad recipe. I can't imagine like bike messengers and stuff in like New York City and things. Dangerous job. I wouldn't do it. I'm not getting on the road in a bike. Sorry. Now that looks like World Ratchets, it says. So, let's see what they got here. I see, yeah, SK, I knew that. That's a Koken. See, here's my problem with the Koken. Here's my problem. That looks like some Harbor Freight. Bill's still here? It looks like some Harbor Freight BS in the head. I'm not saying it's not hopefully a little thinner than like our typical Harbor Freight junk, but it just looks like it. You know what I mean? If I bring you a fast ass car, but it looks like a Chevy Cavalier, it still looks like a Chevy Cavalier, right? You look at all this work they did on the handle, and then that looks exactly like textbook cheap Ratchet. I can't get away from it. So that one, I'm a little iffy on. Where the Ratchets aren't bad. I hear people kind of talk bad about the Joker wrenches, and I've not played with them, so I don't know. And here's a fact: at least they're kind of doing their own thing a little bit. This is an older design, but the selector, I don't know how that holds. I don't know how that holds up over time, but it's not the. I mean, I guess it's kind of like you're not gonna accidentally engage it and switch like some of these would. and it's not as big as it. So yeah, I've not used one for any real length of time. I have played with them, but I don't think it was specifically this style. I think it had a different selector on it. But that, I'm wondering if that ring is actually plastic or if it's like metal and it just looks black. That would be one of my only concerns with that. But the handle, the rubber grip, that's nice. Nice thick handle like this and this. These look like, I want to say these are 1/4 inch ratchets. I'd have to look it up, but they look like it because a 3/8 would be a little longer, I think. Oh no, yeah, there it is on the Xylop. Or Zyclop. I always called it Xylop. I guess the K is silent. Anyhow, so it is 3/8. That's weird because the SK one looks rather small. Noticeably shorter than the Koken. Definitely the wearer, they're always longer, but huh, that's weird. Yeah, see, people are saying SK, and like this guy got downvoted. Yeah, so that's interesting. It's always like I want to see if you want to see somebody that does a little bit more of the foreign tools. Um, I don't know how many videos he's been making recently, but I know Autobahn Dan on Instagram covers a lot of little stuff. You know, lots of little short tidbits on this tool or that tool. I know his YouTube channel was kind of like a side piece there for a while. I haven't checked in with him in a while, but he does a lot of foreign made tools, a lot of the German stuff, the Japanese stuff, and he doesn't really put on like a whole big uh, show about it. He just gives you the information, shows you the tool, talks about it, what he's used it on, where he got it, maybe how much, that kind of stuff. But he's pretty good about, having a good bunch of the foreign tools and maybe some stuff you haven't seen. Actually, he and I were the first two people I know of that started talking about MicroPro tools. And they've kind of picked up some steam. They seem to be, I see like a lot more Facebook ads for them. I don't know if that's because I'm a tool guy or what, like why I'm seeing those ads specifically. I'd like to think other people are too occasionally, but I even they had their 3/8 T handle socket set thing. I actually put that on the tool sales and deals page the other day because it was marked down a little, not like a crazy amount, but they're a smaller company, so it's harder for them to, make huge sales. But I did put that out there, and it got a lot of positive response. So, obviously some people knew what it was, knew Michael Pro, so they're coming up a little bit too. But Autobahn Dan was at the time I started talking about him after I found him. Autobahn Dan was the only other person I could find that had covered anything from them. So he really does get into like the nitty gritty of things that you probably aren't going to see everywhere. Uh, so it's a good person to follow and check out. These organized guys, look at this. Okay, come on guys, let's be real. Who? Whose garage looks like this? Who are you? And what do you work on something for 20 minutes? Look at the cable management on this power strip. It's run down the wall with little I forget what they're called. Little cable eyelets every like 3 inches. And I like how he brought it down and then slipped it over. Like there was planning in this. Lots and lots of planning. I don't know. I mean, I guess some people are just this, I don't want to say anal, but I'm gonna say anal. But damn, I will never, ever, unless somebody does it for me and then 2 days later it's gonna look completely different. I can't ascribe to this level of organized guys. Yeah, organized guys who buy and don't use tools. Yeah, like what was it? We were laughing at the Icon Ratchet, right? Because it comes with a cleaning cloth. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if your stuff's all oily, you did an oil change or something, or it got all greasy, yeah, you might wipe it off. But it was like one of those nice, like, the same type of stuff they give you to, like, wipe off your eyeglasses. Like, look, I got one right here. It was like one of these. These little, like, eyeglass, like, towels that they give you to clean your glasses when you get new glasses. It was like something like this. They're like, here, polish your ratchet. Man, get out of here with that. Like, get a shop rag like everybody else. It's going to do just fine. Like, if you're sitting there polishing your tools, you're obviously not spending enough time working. I was wondering that too. Like, that power strip is really high. And if you look, he's got, let's go down here. This big black thing running across the bottom should be one of the big giant, yeah, it's a big giant power strip. So if you got this down here, what do you need? I don't know. I don't know. It's almost like he did this just for pictures. And I mean, the rest of it looks pretty organized, but who's buying this? What do you got in here? What do you got in here that you have this many storage bins, and then you still got the pegboard bins over here on the wall? I just, I'm hoping this is actually a shop somewhere. That's the only time it would make sense, and even then, I question your sanity for as to why it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't at all. I'll never ascribe to that level of organization ever. Yeah, I really think this is a problem that this guy's pointing out here. We get these socket set trays and things and storage solutions. They're almost never, like, you can't go buy a complete set and just slap it on there, and it's like the hot dogs and the buns, right? The hot dogs come in packs of 10, the buns come in packs of 8. It's like that. Like, why can't you guys just get together, or the people that are making the rails make them for common full socket sets to where you can just fill them in one go? Because even I tried to piece one together with, I don't think it was the post style. It might be though. The organizers I have, I don't know, because they're in storage, right? So whenever I do finally go to storage and get my stuff out, which I was there like a week ago, I think I stopped by for a minute to grab something. But, like, I've forgotten. I got new stuff in there in the package, like, that I've never even opened yet. And I gave a bunch of stuff away. I gave a bunch of car dollies and other stuff, new stuff that I had that I had not used or I wasn't going to be using for a while. I gave a whole bunch of that to Black Zeus Garage. Actually, I need to call him. He moved down to Atlanta on me. I haven't checked in on him in a while. I need to get a hold of him too. See, I got all kinds of things to do. Write emails, contact people. But yeah, this does bother me. And I know a lot of the guys that show the pictures and they have them all full. Like, it's BS. Like, they got two 15 millimeters, two 3/4. Like, they've put stuff on there just to fill it out. I don't know of too many sets you can buy and just slap it on these trays and you have everything you need. They just don't match up. Yeah, everybody skips sizes. But even then, I wonder if even some of the higher end kits, I don't know if they, I don't know, I'd have to check. But I'm sure there's a couple exceptions. But for the most part, yeah, you can't just fill a socket tray with your stuff that you have. New tool day, engineer, engineer. Never heard of them. And the handle looks kind of like cheap molding. I don't know who engineer is, but it just looks like a pair of linesman pliers. A really nice. The metal looks good. Um, yeah, I don't know. Oh, Japanese. Okay, that's why I don't know. Or yeah, that's Japanese. Okay, so that's why I don't know. All right, cool, fair enough. But I will say, chances are these are some relatively run of the mill Japanese things based on the packaging. So, how good can they really be? Time lapse of a sliding door install. Don't need that. Tool Review Zone just did a video, or at least I think he did. It seemed more recent. It popped up in my feed, and I did not click on it. Um, I was I didn't have the time to sit and watch a video, but he has a video something about if you love Milwaukee tools, you're going to hate this video. So I'm hoping there that that's not complete clickbait, but I did add it to my watch later list. So when I have some time, maybe tomorrow during my workout, I'll throw that on and see what he was saying. Maybe that's what I need to do. Try to split some of my time on the workouts to try to catch up on some videos for the people that are actually putting them out. It does look very similar. Go back up here. It does look very similar, but I don't think it looks like it has one groove. What am I doing? What the yes, I'm over 18. Show me the picture. There's no boobs in it. It looks kind of like the vampires. Oh, come on. You ass. Okay, so anyway, you can kind of see here, there's like a single groove, and that looks like for, like wire pulls, I'm guessing. It looks to be about the same size as some of the solid core wires that we use so frequently in like um, installations and things. So it's, I mean, sort of, it definitely has a larger cutting surface than a lot of the ones we see, or at least it appears to be. Like I said, the metal looks good. Everything looks good there. The handle looks a little cheap, maybe. Uh, it's just some rubber molded plastic, it looks like. But they've done something here, but it's not quite Vampire level. But yeah, so that's that. So we're rounding out on our time here. So I'm gonna quit scrolling. I know everybody's been talking on their own like normal, and women's NBA. They still have that? I know I heard women's soccer is all in an uproar because they think they're not making enough or something because they're world champions or something. I don't know. But I will say this. So check this out. I got that 1995 Geo Prism that I bought as my second car to cart the kids around. So I got that thing, and it is exactly what it says it is, a piece. But headlights is an issue, right? The old yellow style headlights in today's driving market, they just don't have the power that you need to compete with the other headlights out there. So I've made it a standard on any of my vehicles to upgrade the headlights on every single one to LED, of varying degrees. The ones I bought for the uh, Prism were very cheap, really cheap. Tool Sales and Deals page on Facebook. I know we hate Facebook, but we post a lot of good stuff over there. Save a lot of money. It's not always, we get what we get. We don't control the deals, so it is kind of touch and go sometimes. But I think a lot of people find stuff that they think it's useful. But anyhow, so the ones I bought for that, I just bought the low beams because I think that any upgrade's better than nothing. And I didn't spend much. I think I spent less than $20 on the set, and that did a really good job. The adjustment on the headlights is a pain, and I don't have the tools to like properly adjust them the way I want. I did a pretty good job on the the vertical. The horizontal is weird. It's like over here. You need a long screwdriver. It's like that old gear tooth adjustment. It sucks. But anyhow, so I couldn't adjust them the way I wanted to perfectly. So they did better, but I still wanted a little more light. So on the tool sales and deals page, some fog lights came up. I took those, I threw them on, no big deal. Well, there's a new resident in my building. He lives, his entrance is downstairs, but it's right outside. And we've talked. He's an older gentleman, nice guy. Um, and so he's my downstairs neighbor. Well, I guess he was sitting out there enjoying some evening time, and he saw me driving away a couple of times and noticed I got an old piece of sorry, Bill. I got an old piece of shit car, but I have these nice lights on them. So he had asked me about it, I don't know, like a week or so ago, about, hey, like, what do you do to upgrade the headlights? Like, what's all that about? So I had a quick conversation with him, and he's older. I don't know how old, but he's older. And he's like, oh, well, I don't buy stuff online, and I don't have like a lot of tools and stuff to do it. So I told him, I'd look into what his car needed. It's a newer car, but it still had all the yellow crap in it. A 2006 Toyota Corolla, I think. And so I went on there. I tried to watch it for a few days. I found a set that was on some discount, not as much as I wanted, but I paid a little more for that set. I wanted to make sure I got a good lasting set for them. So I picked those up, and the other day I threw them in for him. Now I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't even gonna charge him for the lights. I tried. I legitimately tried. But he wouldn't take no for an answer. He threw some money in my hand, and I reluctantly took it. But that wasn't in my plan. But my key here is to wrap up the video for today, the stream, is that some of us are more capable than others, some are more able than others, and I know how we all feel about working on other people's stuff, and don't do that, don't become that guy. But if there ever is somebody that needs a little something, or you could do something and make it a lot easier for them versus them trying to figure it out themselves, or go to a shop and have something done, uh, try to do those things. And I don't tell you this story to like toot my own horn, or because I need uh, positive affirmation or whatever the hell. I'm just saying, like, if you can sometimes help people out, you're like, yeah, don't agree to like, hey, my car's running weird. Can you look at it? Those always end up in usually a bad state, depending on who it is that's asking. But something small, something simple, or even like car tips, giving somebody some more information, pointing them in a general direction, that kind of stuff. In this case, I did have to take out the battery to get to the driver's side headlight and things, so it's not something he would have been able to easily do. And plus, I know all about the LEDs and how to do it. Like I said, I change all mine anyway. So I was pretty good at it. It took me like 10 minutes to slap them in, make sure they work and everything good. But if you can help people out occasionally, try to. Let's not all get completely disgruntled about working on other people's stuff. Don't agree to do any engine rebuilds or anything crazy. And the people that you need to stay away from. But if you can help people out, you know, from time to time as you're able, try to do that. And so my daughter asked me if, hey, fix it, have a good one, take it easy. My daughter asked me after I got the money and, we got back in, she's, oh, so what are we going to do with the money, kids. And I'm like, well, like, we don't really need it right now, so I'll hold on to it. And she goes, oh, oh, cool, and we'll spend it later. And I was like, well, no. If we don't need it, I mean, if we do need it later for something, then yeah, of course we could spend it. But the better thing to do would be to hold on to it in this case because it's money we weren't counting on, and then use that money to try to help somebody else somewhere down the road. Like you do good things because you want to do good things and not necessarily for personal gain. So I tried to teach her that lesson in there. We'll see how that sticks. But yeah, just watch out for your neighbors and your people. Try to don't put yourself at odds with anything. Try not to. But if somebody needs a little something, you can try to do that. So I'm gonna end the stream here. I gotta get ready for my Wednesday night meeting. It looks like a few of you are already dropping out anyway, which is fine. I appreciate everyone for hanging out this week, and I will see you next week.